Welcome to another edition of the high school football forecast here on the Acadiana postgame show. It's the playoff edition. I'm your host, Greg Larnard. All right, let's take a look at our player of the week from last week, round one of the high school football playoffs, and I'm giving it to a running back, Jalen Brown of Ascension Episcopal. He racked up 170 yards, 4 touchdowns in a 35-10 victory over Riverside Academy. And with those 4 touchdowns, that gives him 30 on the season. Very, very impressive for one Jalen Brown. All right, let's take a look at our games of the week this week. The first one up, number 6 Catholic New Iberia, 10-1 at the number 3 seeded Dunham, who's 9-0 on the year. This is a District 3A playoffs. It's the quarterfinals actually, and for New Iberia, they're expecting a barn burner in this game. Tons of points to be put up. Coach Indes, he was also quoted as saying this may be the best Dunham team in school history. So they're ready for a battle, and they're gonna have to score along Dunham, and he may have said that because they're led by LSU commit Derek Stingley, who is a wide receiver cornerback. And man, I'll tell you, I saw him play in the Jamboree against Brobridge early on in this season, again, right before the season started, and he was incredible. He made it look really, really easy against that Brobridge defense, and boy, I was really impressed by Derek Stingley. So we'll see what happens in this matchup. Catholic High New Iberia at number 3 Dunham. All right, let's take a look at our second game of the week, and this time I'm looking at number 25 Westgate, who is kind of the Cinderella type story so far early on in these playoffs, versus number 9 Bastrop. So yeah, they do get a home game in this one. Westgate 7-4 coming into this matchup. Bastrop 8-2. This is a Class 4A playoffs in Westgate. They upset number 8 Plaquemine last week 56-35. Since their loss to Karen Crow early in this year, 41-20 on October 12th, this team has ripped off 4 straight victories in a row, and they've went from averaging about 25 points per game to about 48 points per game. And then you look at Bastrop, and their offense has been good. They've averaged 34 points per game, and the defense has only given up 14 points per game, so they've been very, very stout. And you got to look at senior quarterback Quatarius Hawkins, who's been also very good this year. So that's what you got to look out for in this matchup, number 25 Westgate versus number 9 Bastrop. All right, and our final game of the week, and it's going to be on ESPN 1420 and simulcast on KPL 96.5 since Turlings lost last week. We've got number 3 Acadiana at number 19 Denham Springs. And yes, Denham gets the home game in this one, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Acadiana 10-1 on the year. Denham just 7-4. This is the Class A 5A playoffs. Acadiana keeps rolling. They defeated Live Oak last week 22-7, and they didn't attempt a single pass. It's been all ground and pound for this Veer machine. It keeps on rolling. You look at Lucky Brooks and you look at Larry O'Green, the 2 running backs that have really led this offensive attack on the ground for Acadiana, and it's that famous Veer machine that keeps on rolling under their new head coach, Matt McCullough, this year. And they keep rolling into the second round of the playoffs, and they'll take on Denham Springs, who is very good this year. I mean, I know they had the 7-4 record, but the reason why they get a home game is because they actually defeated number 14 seeded Sam Houston last week 17-14. So since they got the upset, they get the home game this week. So Acadiana's got to travel to Denham, and they're averaging just about 32 points per game on the offense, and their defense, though, they're giving up 28 points per game. So Acadiana may be able to take advantage of that on the ground if they can keep things rolling with that Veer machine. So we'll see what happens. We'll enjoy another great week in high school football, round number 2 here in the high school football playoffs. This has been your high school football forecast on the Acadiana postgame show. I'm your host, Greg Larnard.